Hopefully just a short video here on what we've been adding into our indicators. I've just started here on the SPX index, so it's a lit hours index, just to show you what I've got here on the chart. So on the top of the chart, I have actually got the irregular liquidity for the SPX. We're down, the next one down, or the next four down. I've got different things. I've got SPX futures, next one's SPX futures. I think all three of those are SPX futures. And then down at the bottom, I've got Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is quite different. It's a layoff. It's usually a little, oh no, I don't have, I've got the VIX. Let's just change that to Bitcoin. It's usually a little bit of a leading indicator, especially on a smaller timescales. People in Bitcoin seem to know earlier. I wonder why that is. I don't know. I'm not going to be conspiratorial. So I just want you to note that how good an indicator the SPX is for telling you. It's telling you we've still got some downtime here at the moment. It's not really high, but it's high enough to be worried. You know, it might bounce around, but it's telling you to look at an earlier time scale, where this is telling you it's just red. You could stay in a very long trade here when you have got a regular liquidity out of that level. It's much easier to read than you would be finding in the futures. Futures are much easier at a shorter time scale. So here we can, I just thought we'd have a quick look. This is just a couple of good bumps. This is a weekend bump, and I just wanted to explain why I use Bitcoins. So here, SPX, S&P 500's in the center, and here down the bottom is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has just greened up a long time earlier. Now Bitcoin goes into the weekend. It's telling you what it's setting up for the weekend, but you can be pretty certain if it's setting it up for the weekend, it is how you're going to open up, and we opened up 2 and a bit percent up there. So you could earn some zero DTEs that would have made killings going into that weekend, where this weekend it's a little bit more middling. There's nothing really telling me. Looks like it's going to be a little bit down in the SPX. Bitcoin's a bit middling. I think that's about where we're trading at the moment, down 0.61. I don't quite know what yesterday did. I think it was a bit of an update. I just thought I'd also have a look at a couple of the other events for the week. So here again, we can see all of the indicators are red. So you can pick this one here that's giving you a 0.17 drop in a half an hour. This was worth trading in the futures. Or in the afternoon that day, it was really worth getting some zero DTEs and get going. You could go with some size. All of your indicators lined up there. Bitcoin, SPX, lit hours, and all the futures lined up. That was a great trade. This trade here is a more difficult one. You know, it's looking really green. Bitcoin's come off a really fabulous run. It's peaked out at 110, 111,000, and you don't actually see till really quite close in what's going on. And this is the beauty of being able to have look at quite a few different markets at once. Bitcoin's starting to tell you here, 2 or 3 hours out, or sorry, an hour out from this drop that really took off into the close, what was happening. Now, with that much warning, you can see it in the SPX here. It is sorry, in the S&P 500 futures here. It is not here. I don't know why. I don't know why that is so poor. These two together, the SPX futures and Bitcoin futures. If you could get some cheap zero DTEs there, it was well worth this drop. This drop here was a point 1, and it was after already dropping, I don't know, 0.5 or 0.8 in the SPX. So it was well worthwhile. Then we've had quite a loose finish. The SPX thinks we're going to have some downtime. Bitcoin was rising into the weekend, and since then we've seen it pretty flat. Anyway, I hope that adds to what you can look at. You can look at both at the moment. You've got several futures pickings. You could go through and you could pick the VIX as the extra one that you wanted to have a look at, and the VIX is going to tell you, you know, the VIX was quite red here while it was rising. It was quite green going into this event, but really quite late into it, it started greening up into the afternoon. But it told you that if you could have bought the VIX and gone into Thursday and a zero DTE, and it was going to be hammering, and it really did. Here the VIX has landed a little bit middling. I think it's going to be a pretty flat start to the week. Anyway, I hope that helps you. nakeddelta.com. Bruce talking about our liquidity indicators and the new series that we've added into them, which we call the profile series. Profile multi-tickers, profile liquidity sentiment, profile irregular, and profile multi-ticker time layered. Thank you very much. Have a good Sunday today, a good Memorial Day tomorrow, and a great week's trading. Thank you.